Racheli Kreisberg works for the Dutch Embassy and is helping companies to make connections to Israel and the other way around. Racheli, explain to me, how does that work in the embassy? What does the embassy do for Dutch companies coming to Israel?
Okay, the Dutch Embassy offers Dutch companies and research organizations to establish R&D collaboration between their entities and Israeli counterparts. What we do is we are heavily networked in Israel, and of course we follow the Dutch policy, and therefore we try to help the Dutch organizations to internationalize in Israel. These can be scouting activities for Dutch companies, these can be pilot projects with Israeli startups, these can be collaborations through EU projects, and searching for venture capital if Dutch entrepreneurs are interested in raising funding like Israeli startups.
Yeah, and you really do that. Yeah, you really scout for companies. They can contact you, they can call you. We'll make sure that the contact details are in there. But you also have a website. What is the website name and what's the abbreviation?
The website is named after the Israeli Dutch Innovation Center, and the acronym is idic.org.il. And on the website you can follow our innovation opportunities, in which you can react to those, as well as our digital and physical events, such as missions and knowledge transfer events.
Yeah, and there's also an onboarding page which you can fill in and what your needs are, and that basically comes to you. And you really hunt for those opportunities, right? I mean, you told me a couple of the things you do. You have a lot of activities. You get experts from Israel, you get experts from the Netherlands, and you make a digital event. You have delegations. You help them, like you helped us to find all the right contacts. How much connection is there between Israel and the Netherlands?
Okay, so we work at the embassy on 4 societal challenges: on the energy transition, health and care, agri-food and water, and security. And in all of those 4 societal challenges, there is a lot of collaboration between Israel and the Netherlands. Specifically in life science and health, the collaborations also exist throughout the Horizon Europe projects that fund the collaborative research projects, and therefore there is already a lot of ongoing collaboration between Israel and the Netherlands, but we can always aim for more, and this is what we want to do.
Yeah, what I was interested to hear is that Israel can also participate in the calls for Europe, right? I mean, you have all these calls for Europe for future 25, but Israel can participate in those.
Yes, Israel is an associated country like Norway and Switzerland, and therefore is an equal partner in any EU project, and those are very attractive for the establishment of the collaborations in the field of health.
Yeah. So we are here with a healthcare delegation to Israel, and we went to very great hospitals and also to HMOs and those kinds of things. What kind of connections are there in the healthcare industry between the Netherlands and Israel?
So one of the great collaborations is in the form of Sanara Ventures. This is a joint venture between Philips Healthcare and Teva Pharmaceuticals. That is one option. And there are a lot of Israelis that went on sabbaticals in the Netherlands, and they know the Dutch zorgsysteem, the Dutch healthcare system, and they want to continue being in touch with that system to learn from it.
Yeah, the CEO of the biggest hospital with 1,400 beds and $1 billion. So he basically did all his education in Maastricht, and he really said, oh, well, you know, the good thing about the Dutch is that they plan and they plan and they plan, and we're much better in improvising. I mean, for them, planning is mere a suggestion. I thought that was an interesting characteristic, but he really had a lot of ties. So there's more people, and that basically you can tap into that.
Right, and at the embassy, one of the things that we also do is we organize events for Dutch people that work in Israel. There are also people in the field of health that reside in Israel. So we can further develop the connection between both countries with their complementary cultures, as you mentioned.
So if I have an issue, I want to basically tap into the 5,000 startups which are here in Israel, and 200 and 500 in the healthcare, and I ask you to basically do a scouting trip and prepare for me, make a couple of appointments, and I come here and I meet all these companies. How do I pay the embassy for that?
The embassy does the work for free, because we work for the Dutch Ministry of Economics and climate policy, so all our services are given for free. You can also do deep scouting if you're interested, and you will meet an organization called Startup Nation Central in a couple of days, and they will do deep scouting for one given organization, and then you have in-depth scouting.
Yeah, and then you pay for that.
Also for Startup Nation Central, you don't pay. It's done because Israel wants to expose its startups, and they want the startups to link to countries like the Netherlands in order to implement their technology.
Yeah, so actually the door is wide open for people from the Netherlands. And what do the Israelis want from the Netherlands? What kind of thing are they looking for?
Okay, they're looking to learn from the Netherlands. We are now starting to organize a mission in the field of regenerative medicine and organ on a chip and stem cell technology. So there's a lot to learn, and people are interested in learning from the best. And the Netherlands is one of the best with its hospitals, research institutions, and academic environment.
Okay, well, with that description of the Netherlands coming from the embassy and what you do all for us for free, I would only recommend everybody to do that. Here is the card, and I will also type it in here. Thank you very much, Racheli.